Now that you have agreed that I speak the truth on this video, and I'm gonna share it, it's a bitter truth. So you're gonna get yourself a milk or a water, something there, because this is a bitter truth that I'm gonna share with you. You see, you will regret, and I have to tell you straightforward, right to your eyes, you will regret at the age 50 if you're doing exactly this. Don't be surprised. You know what we say? If you plant your maize, don't be surprised if maize grows. If you plant nothing, don't be surprised if nothing grows. Don't be like, hey, why am I getting nothing? Because you did nothing. Let me tell you one secret. If you do nothing about money today, rest assured that you're gonna have a money problem tomorrow. That is it. Now, guess what? This is Good Joseph speaking. If you're watching this video for the first time, I talk about investments, finances, money, and anything related to our pockets. And I'm not on a mission of transforming this world and making it a better place. No, let's make our pockets a better place. And by the way, don't forget to, and there we do things. You subscribe, meaning that if you do, you'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. And make sure you leave a like on this video and leave a comment on the comment section. Now, here we are. What exactly is this that you're doing that you're gonna get yourself into a regret if you hit your age 50? And you'll be like, I'm only 25 years old, you're talking about 50, this will happen. Okay, number one, if you are not saving, what do I mean? To save it, to salvage, it is to set aside a certain fraction of your cash towards the achievement of what we call the investments. And guess what happens? Now, let me show you something. Do you remember that game called, is it CISO or something? Where we had something like this, where we had something like this, and then we had a dude on this side, and then we had a dude on this side, and then they're like, depends on your weight, I can light myself, and then somebody lifts me, the other one lifts me, or something of sort. Now, here we are. See, when we are at our age from 21 years all the way to 45 years, and then when you hit 45 years all the way to whatever the period you're going to live, whatever God will give you, this is what happens now. This is the most productive years of your life. This is the most productive years, all right? And by the way, if you ask me, from 21 all the way to 45 years, this is where you rely on what we call the active income. This is where you rely on what we call the active income. Active income simply means where you trade your time, your skills, and your energy. You went to university, God is great, you secured a job, you're employed, you're earning something, or you started a business, it's doing good, and you're very active. You wake up at 4, you close your business at 12 a.m., and whatever the thing it is, you can actually even decide to skip your life. Like you are really trading your energy, the skills, and the time, and what have you to actually make that money. That money that you're making is called active income. All right? Active income, in this case regard, you find this balance usually in balance. When you're at this particular age, you realize that your active income is way bigger compared to this, okay? Now, this is what happens now. On the other side is where you say from 45 years and above, this is when you realize that the productivity is going down, and if the productivity is going down, that is the active income is going down. Now, what ought to go up is what we call the passive income. And this is what happens to most of the people. When you're actually actively engaged, when you're having active income because you have the energy and what have you, let's say you are a mason. Mason is quite of a heavy job when you're lifting those stones, fixing some things and whatever, moving around those houses and what have you. It's quite of an engaging work that you really need to be energetic. And if you do not have the energy, you know what? There's a difference between exercising your muscles and exercising your brain. And by the way, I don't know whether you know this. Society pays more this than it pays this. Now, what you do is that when your active income, particularly at this particular age bracket, and most of the people tend to, allow me to use this term, it may be tough, but it is what it is. Allow me to say, okay, so you said we talk about the bitter truth. Most of the people in this particular age, there are two things. One, they are dumb. Two, they are ignorant. And they are boastful. They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to be advised. You cannot tell me, what have you done? Don't tell me anything. Life is for the short. Life is for the living. I throw parties. I have some friends to make happy for and what have you, and all those kind of things. People mess up their lives in this particular area. And this is what happens now. The moment you clock your 50, the productivity has actually gone down. And if the productivity has gone down, even it's about employment, even the company itself is contemplating how they can fire you because you're no longer productive. And they say, you know what, you're heading to a retirement. And now what happens now? If you're doing this, now what? If you're not doing anything to create something that can earn you money in a passive way, you're gonna regret. And how do you create that? You create that by setting aside that what you're making. And I always tell people, even if you have a very successful business, please have an exit plan. Let's say you're running a very nice hardware, you're running a very nice workshop, a bookshop, retail shop, whatever. You are known for that business. You're so good at it. You're making money. Cash flow is so good. Make sure that at least you ask yourself, is this business running because I'm actively engaging to it? What if I am not there? What would happen? Now that's what we call the exit plan. This is where now you transit to engagement that does not need your energy. For example, you can get into the real estate. You build your houses, you build your rental income and water. You invest in soft assets like you have your bills, you have your bonds, you have your circles, you have your shares, you have your stocks, you have your index funds, you have your bond fund, balance fund, equity fund, rates. We have a lot of things that you can invest on, but you don't do anything. Guess what? You get the money, you throw parties, you enjoy yourself, you have fun, you all over the place. You're not even. You get what I'm saying? At that case scenario, you're getting yourself into problems. You're actually affecting your growth. And guess what happens now? The moment these things goes down and crumbles, then you have never raised anything as far as the passive income is concerned. Now you're at your 50s, you're at your 60s, you're looking forward into going home as a retirement. You do not have anything that you have as a retirement plan that to make you some cash. And guess what happens now? This is where the anxiety starts. This is where you start developing some blood pressure. This is where you start developing some diabetes kind of things and what have you. Well, maybe diabetes is an uncommunicable, maybe from, I don't know, whatever. It comes a lot of things, especially if you do not secure or safeguard your future. Now, what exactly are you supposed to do before you hit this particular age bracket? This 21 to 45, focus on growing your cash. You focus on growing your cash. At the same time, you're safeguarding it. Because not only growing cash is the essential, but also safeguarding it. You see, for example, this is why I always tell people that making or building rentals is not really growing your money. It is not. It's not that thing that you can use when you're poor to be wealthy. No. Real estate or rentals do not make you wealthy, do not make you rich if you're down there. You become wealthy by multiplying that what you have, using other better tools that can fasten the period of the process. Building rentals and houses and real estate, it's a product that is used by the wealthy people to actually safeguard that what they have. It does not make a lot. And I'm going to use a very simple example. Let's pick a case scenario of two people. One person or two people, the person A and the person B. Both of them, you give them 4 million. And then that's assuming they all have a piece of land somewhere. They all have a piece of land, because a piece of land in Kenya is a thing that almost everyone wants it, okay? Including me and everyone. And there's nothing wrong. Now, see, this 4 million, this dude goes there and builds some rental houses. Let's say he builds like 4 units of one bedroom that he rents 10,000. That is 40,000 at the end of the month. This dude goes somewhere alongside the highway. Guy leases a land and builds some choma zone. Choma zone is like a grill where people come and throw parties. They eat nyama choma. You go check out what is that delicacy in Kenya. Is quite popular one. It's roasted beef and what have you. You know, you're selling your party thing, alcohol, whatever, if you can be able to do so. Okay. Now, this dude, between these guys, who will make more money? This guy who will go and lease a place where you get the business, obviously will make more. Or maybe you start importing things from China and whatever. Probably this guy has high chances of making more. This guy is growing money. This guy is storing money. Both of them have invested the 4 million, but this guy is getting to high risk, high returns. So what happens here when you're young, especially when you're at your 20s, you can actually leverage on time. You have a lot of time to get it right. If you get it wrong at the beginning, you can get it right again and again and again and again. If you want to believe what I'm telling you, go check somebody who is at 50. You ask them, what that thing that you love to get? They ask you, take me back to my 20s, because I can do a lot of things. But the problem is that 20s do not come with wisdom. Especially, you do not accommodate the wisdom. You do not accommodate the understanding. You don't want to accommodate the, especially if you're in Africa. You already know if you're in university, you're joining university, you know there is a crisis as far as the jobs are availability. They're not there. It's not there. But our parents are not telling you that. Your teachers are not telling you that. But the reality is, there are no jobs. Or if they are there, they are limited. They are for the chosen few. Now, how do you actually spread your tentacles? You spread your risk. Just in case you don't get the job, you have a soft landing. You get what I'm saying? So if then you're operating on the basis where you're throwing parties, you know, right, left, and center each and every time, you're not even securing how your future gonna look like. Obviously, don't be surprised if 50 years comes in and you're regretting, you're crying, you know, all over the place. That's a reality. And don't tell me, hey, I'm at 50, I'm actually getting all my money, I'm educating my kids. No. That's a poverty mentality. Oh, I'm educating my kids, and therefore you're banking on the kids helping you. That's why we are not killing poverty in Africa, because you're banking. You should not use your, you know, your. This really annoys me a lot. You know, I had somebody who was telling me, Joseph, I am not investing because I'm educating my kids and I'm looking forward of them helping me. And I was like, I don't know your kids, but I know. I really wish your kids knows what is going on, because this is a crisis in making. It's a crisis in making. See, educating your kids and what have you, it's their right. You have to do that. That is just one basket of your bills, of your responsibilities. And on top of that, also securing your future, making sure that you put your house in order, making sure that you invest for the sake of you and your sweetheart, is also another basket that you have to fill in. So when you drain yourself in the name of just educating kids and then you bank on that, that's not what we do. That's not what we do. You also have your own life that you need to safeguard and secure. And I'm not saying people should not educate. They should give them the best quality education ever. I 100% support that. But at the same time, it is good to make sure that you also safeguard your future. You also put your house in order so that at least you don't get yourself into this regret at your 50. So in simple terms, if you are actually throwing parties all over the place, you're not even saving anything, you're not investing anything as early as you can, rest assured you're going to get yourself a problem when you hit this particular age. What you're supposed to do, no matter how much you're earning, no money that cannot be saved. No matter how much you're earning, always have that percentage that you set aside for the purposes of you investing it, safeguarding your future, growing your cash, and moving to the next level. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you're probably going to come here back after 50 years and check this video and you'll be like Joseph said. And you know what they say? The only way to get a 60-year-old experience at 30 is reading books and listening to people, because people have a lot of things that you can learn from. Listen to people. What I say, what I do, what I think, it's all about engaging with people, talking to people, being exposed to different challenges and problems and what have you. That is how you grow yourself to there. For God's sake, I did not even invest any article. I did not even invest T or R or S. I learned it from people. But what you do is that you amass all those things, you amass the knowledge. If you want to get into the business, get into the pool of people who are doing the business, listen to them, what are they saying, how is it taking care, all those kind of things, so that at least you can move to the next level. That is exactly what you do it. I'm telling you this because I usually receive a lot of calls for guys who, if you're in Kenya, if I tell you this, you know what I mean. I do receive a lot of calls from 0722. Yeah, I do receive a lot of calls from 0722 people. The moment you get that number in Kenya, you know, wow. And those are the calls I don't even ignore. I have to pick them. And there are some people who calls me and tells me, hey, Joseph, I would like you to teach me graphic design. And somebody is at 55. You can just imagine what is going on in that head of that individual. It tells you a lot. It can actually help you to understand the background of that individual. So be very careful you don't fall into this thing. And that is how exactly it happens. Anyway, thank you. See you in the next one.